Hello, everyone, and welcome to Community Distance Reiki. I'm Danielle, the host and the owner of Learn Reiki Philadelphia. For those of you who are new, welcome. For those returning, welcome back. And for those who are watching on the recording, welcome. You will have just as awesome and healing a time as if you were here live. But if you would like to join me live, I'm here 5 times a week, Wednesdays at 4 p.m., Thursdays at 8 a.m., Fridays at 4 and 8 p.m., and Sundays at 8 p.m. And all of these are East Coast U.S. time, which this time of year in the spring is GMT -4. I've been teaching Reiki for about 13 years, and if you want to learn more about my sessions, my online Reiki trainings, social media, online Discord, or anything else for that matter, go ahead and check out the description, and it'll have all the links for you there. And for those of you who are here, thank you so much for being here. If you would like to go ahead and like the stream, lots of folks will find out about this event by you doing so. And if you would like to request any specific healing, go right ahead and use the chat. I will go ahead and for the first half an hour, build us a beautiful crystal grid custom to the energies of today based on all of your requests. You can request the healing intention or the specific stone you want to work with, and we'll build that together. At about the half-hour point, we'll take a little break. I'll explain what Reiki is to those of you who are new to the concept, and from there, we'll go ahead. I will turn the music up, turn the lights down, and I will send Reiki for the following half an hour. You don't need any experience or anything like that to be here. Just go ahead, get yourself nice and physically comfortable, and join in the fun. So let's see what we have. We have lots of requests already. I have lots of stones already picked. And let's see. Okay, cool, Cora. Good luck with the house. I know you've been working on that for a bit, but I've got crystals picked for you. Great to see you too. I've been wondering about you. Good to see you, Nurse B. Let's see. I would love something for physical pain, anxiety, emotional support. Absolutely. We have lots of good things for that. In fact, I'm going to pull a couple more for you. Let's see. And I'm going to go ahead and throw things over to the crystal grid so all of you can see what I'm putting together. Good to see you all. Awesome. So just hang on. Let's take a little ride together. And here we are. We're going to build our crystal grid. So for today, we have some specific stones that were requested. Future someone, you requested obsidian, and I have black obsidian, snowflake obsidian, and mahogany obsidian. Did you have a preference, or I'll kind of pick based on the vibe of everyone here? I might just pick one based on the other requests too. But you also requested aquamarine, leopardskin, jasper, pink tourmaline. I have sodalite, and yeah, let's start it there. So leopardskin jasper is incredible for working with our spirit guides and our ancestors, particularly the animal guides that we have, but not exclusive to them. I build all of my grids intuitively, not built to any one particular shape. And let's see. Okay. This will definitely help with requests for intuition as well that I'm seeing in the chat. Cool. Great. Okay, awesome. And welcome in. I hope everyone is doing well. Awesome. Let's see, other requests that we had. I have some aquamarine here. Aquamarine is incredible for so many things, but I feel like moving through emotional stagnation, like getting energy to actually move, helping us to clear any area in our astrological chart that's based in water that might be out of balance. It can be especially wonderful for that, which is really powerful right now. We've got some pink tourmaline by request, which one of the crystals I absolutely adore. This one is super sought after. It's really, really nurturing for the heart. It helps to feel that we are deserving of unconditional love and open up to that, allowing us to connect with the vibration of unconditional love. And helps to fill our heart center so that we feel that we can move forward with less risk and more opportunity for reward. And you also requested, let's see, some sodalite. I will just look behind me. Bear with me one moment. Actually think I might have some sodalite here too. So this is sodalite. Sodalite is excellent for communication. We're coming into the shadow period of Mercury retrograde, which I know social media astrology will have you running for the hills and screaming about it. It's actually not the worst thing. It's just a time where it's a little harder to communicate and it's a little harder to hear the communications of others. It's really meant for us to be focused on listening to ourselves and doing some inner reflection work. If we do need to do some work or where we need to communicate, which I mean, we have to all the time, sodalite can help us during this time. It's a very potent and very familiar stone to many folks. So I'm going to leave this here and we'll see where it works into the grid. We also had some requests for let us see. Respiratory system, manifesting desires, and heart health. Absolutely all of those things. Manifesting desires, citrine is amazing. We've worked with it a lot here before. Also, red tiger eye can be great for both manifesting, especially for calling in money and there's a little bit of urgency there, but it's also excellent for heart health, circulatory health. So we'll use that too. Citrine is thought of as like a yellowy orange, but natural citrine is actually more of like a brownish orange. It can be harder to find these days, but it's mined very close to where we would find amethyst. And amethyst is very common to the United States, especially around Arkansas. And they're very closely related. Basically, it turns amethyst turns into citrine under special conditions. For example, certain amounts of heat over time, which is what gives it this orangey color instead of that purpley. And so many folks that mine amethyst, which is more abundant, will attempt to change the color through essentially baking it, which is what gives it that quickly baked kind of yellow color instead of the orange color. It's getting harder and harder to find these sort of orangey brown as opposed to the yellowy orange for that reason. Citrine is incredible for calling in support, resources. Like if you're doing tarot readings for yourself and you're getting a lot of the pentacles or coins cards that represent feeling a little depleted or needing some resources, citrine will be a really good and easy friend. It also is excellent for, we had some requests for intuition and getting some guidance and some clarity about things. Citrine is supportive of taking in that intuition as well as using our intellect and balancing the two, being able to hear both sides of, okay, this is what I feel is right, and here's where the logic takes me. And that's sort of the sweet spot. We have our gut that we want to listen to, and we have our head that we want to listen to, and ideally we balance the two. So that's a stone that can help us with that. You're wearing an aventurine pendant. Beautiful. Does heat-treated amethyst hold the same properties as natural citrine? That's an excellent question, and it's sort of a hot topic in a lot of the crystal healing community. I have found that it's sort of the intention that counts more than anything. For me, I'd rather than working with a baked piece of amethyst, if I can't get the crystal, I would prefer to work with just clear quartz and just have the intention that it represent all the healing properties of the stone that I do not have. That's just what I like to do, rather than sort of baking a stone and treating it a certain way. But is it possible? Yeah, I mean, I guess. It just, to me, it definitely feels different. But like I said, if we use clear quartz as a stand-in for something we don't have, that our intention that we put forth in that clear quartz can work miracles. Amethyst is actually the wonderfully beautiful, totally natural blend of both amethyst and citrine, those places in the Earth's crust where amethyst was turning over to citrine, and it has both, and it's this purple and this brownish orangey, and it's incredible. Whichever you happen to have, whether it's amethyst or citrine or aventurine, keep them from bright sunlight. It'll cause them to fade. But yeah, I would say to me, the baked citrine doesn't feel the same. But that's not to say that it feels bad. It might just feel a little different, a little bit more muted. Let's see what else we have. So here's the red tiger's eye, as I mentioned. Helps us with balancing out our root chakra in a really, really powerful way. Deeply protective, including against really negative energy type stuff. Like if you have somebody that's like throwing mental daggers your way, this is a great stone. If you're somebody who's empathic, this can be an amazing stone too, but it helps to support it really helps to support the root chakra and you to just feel that you are you, not taking on other energy. Supports the cardiac system and also helps manifest basic needs in a pinch. And that does include finances if that's what you need. There you go. That's a really good way. I love that. Cora mentions to her baked citrine is like microwaved food, and the natural citrine is like a home cooked meal. Either way, you get to eat, but it might not taste as good. That's a great way to put it. It's sort of like it's altered, but it was made with the intention of being citrine, so maybe not as good, but still there. But yeah, I often use clear quartz to just stand in for crystals that I either don't have, or depending on where in the world the stone might be getting mined, maybe I don't want to support mining there, I'll use clear quartz to stand in for it, that kind of stuff. Like a lot of healing work with diamonds is like, that's beautiful, and I don't have diamond budget, although you can get a raw diamond or a black diamond or anything like that if it's, less expensive, but I would prefer to just use clear quartz. We had a request around respiratory support, and green kyanite is our buddy with that for sure. So I'm going to bring that in. We also have some green kyanite coming in for some other reasons. But yeah, this green kyanite can really help with so many of our respiratory ailments, whether it's something on the simpler side of things, like say asthma, Or if it's something like you have a friend or family member that's struggling with like COVID or long haul COVID, it can be really helpful there. Yeah, you're right. A cup of tea and even water in a microwave feels different. It's sort of the same as like when we think about cooking our food in the microwave. Like the texture might be a little weird, might be a little off, but it's still pretty good. Like I microwave my leftovers sometimes. Yeah, might taste better if I put it on the stove, but that may or may not be an option given time. We had a request for rhodochrosite, which is incredible for the heart chakra. I mean, abundant unconditional love, seriously opening ourselves up to the more spiritual aspects of love and being loved, not just romantic love, but truly opening our hearts with the most abundant compassion for others and for self that we can find. And so we've got this beautiful pink stone, rhodochrosite, which I absolutely adore. For pain, we have celestite, and we also have chrysocolla. Um, Nurse B, we have been you haven't been here in a little bit, which is okay. I'm so glad that your new job is hopefully working out. I hope your family's well. I've got our usual celestite to help with pain and connection to our guides, our angel guides. This balances so well with leopardskin jasper for when we're working with our guides. But we've also been working with chrysocolla for pain. That was on a suggestion by Cassandra Eason in the Crystal Healing Handbook, and it worked really well. So I've been bringing that into a lot of sessions as well. I'm going to get some more of it if I can. I'm going to put that here in the middle next to our sodalite, but that's chrysocolla. And of course, here is our celestite. Like I said, also excellent for working with our angels, hearing our angels' guidance, making the most of it, feeling their support, deeply helpful for dealing with physical pain. Yeah, so we have that there. And we had some tiger eye. I saw that we needed some mental focus, getting projects done, things like that, clarity, needing the intuition. Like I said, citrine can be so great at bringing about that balance in our intuition. I have two stones that can really help with that, and they again balance with the other stones coming in. One is blue kyanite. This helps with getting in that intuition, especially for those of us who might be just opening up to intuition or a new way of connecting. It's also wonderful for accepting us exactly as we are, like fundamental spiritual type pride of who we are, that humble, I am proud of my core being kind of pride. Uh, but this is excellent for connecting to our intuition and being able to take the messages that come in and make something out of them, actually understanding them, which can be a challenge. So, especially when we're just starting to work with intuition. And being close to the green kyanite, I thought this would be a great way to bring in both. Kyanite naturally grows in these blade-like shapes. There we go. And tiger eye, because that can help us to sort through all the things that need to be done and get them done. Prioritize taking all the different pieces of information and working them together. Mental focus for sure, and also feeling grounded. And the current astrology is not the most grounded. So let's bring in some tiger eye. And I'm going to go ahead and say, I'm going to go ahead and add the, we had a request for obsidian, but not specifically which kind. So I'm going to go ahead and pick the one that best matches here. Hey, I hope you're doing well too. Work-life balance? Oh, it's totally okay, future someone, that you had a phone call. Do you have a preference, future someone, of black obsidian, snowflake obsidian, or mahogany obsidian? If not, I will grab one that best matches the vibe of the grid. Either one is fine. And Fiat Luna, I hope you're well. If you haven't already, check out Fiat Luna's channel. Wonderful, wonderful Reiki healings. I love them. Bringing a bit of playfulness and or suggestions for a work-life balance. Yeah, I'm a Capricorn sun. I feel you on that. Totally feel you on that. Let's bring some playfulness for sure. Let's do some yellow calcite. Let's do some yellow calcite. Yellow calcite brings such a sense of joy to who we are and our sense of identity. And as far as like work-life balance, sometimes I feel like it's a solar plexus thing, like who am I? Where do I start? Where do I stop? And the balance between the solar plexus and the sacral. So maybe even bringing in a little bit of honey calcite too, which kind of balances both. But definitely by supporting our solar plexus with joy, energy, and helping us feel, playful in our sense of self can be really helpful. Black, you got it. Black obsidian, which I'm going to grab. Black obsidian is one of the stones that I reach for when we have a lot of change that we need to move through and process, especially if that change involves grief, but also just changing form, and that it's sometimes that change process can be difficult, but reminding ourselves that when we leave the past version of ourselves behind to become the new version, we still bring that with us. Obsidian is made of volcanic glass. So it's actually one of the most beautiful things when you think about it. Something so destructive as a volcano, yet here this comes from that. And this has such specific uses. Most folks don't realize this, but this particular type of natural glass, we actually could not, as human beings, cut or create a metal blade as sharp and as precise as we could with obsidian. So up until about the 1980s, there were several types of eye surgeries that could only be performed with obsidian scalpel blades. And they are still sometimes used. So yeah, it's like, through that volatility, it's like we just see like destruction, but then look at the beauty that comes out on the other side. Yeah, hi and welcome. So let's see, we'll put 2 here. Oh, we'll put 1 there and 1 here. And I'm just going to add a little bit more, I'm going to add some of that honey calcite that I mentioned, if I can find it. Yeah, here it is. And honey calcite helps with the yellow calcite, where it was bringing that sense of joy to our sense of self and who we are. This helps to balance that out with the solar plexus chakra, which is how we relate to other people, setting boundaries that are respectful of and supportive of ourself in the long run. So it's very similar to the yellow, but it's just a little bit more orange. Yeah. So we'll balance that with the obsidian. There we go. Hello and welcome. Those of you who are new, we're going to go ahead and get ready to get into the second half of things where I explain a little bit about what Reiki is for those who are new. While I'm doing so, you can go ahead and like the stream and vote on what other crystals we want to add. And we know how this usually ends, but that's okay. We'll save that for the new folks. So let's see. So I'm going to go ahead and just show you these two. The first is aventurine. Green aventurine helps us to see a newer, bigger, more advanced version of ourselves. It helps us see a new potential for ourselves as we grow and mature. And, we may have set some limiting beliefs on ourselves to think that, oh, I can't do that. This helps us to say, ooh, you know what? That's within the realm of things that are possible for me. So aventurine, self-confidence, but very much related to the heart chakra. And the next is chrysoprase, one that we work with here quite a bit. Chrysoprase can be excellent for when you've been working at something, but you feel like it's like an unattainable goal. It's still so far away. Chrysoprase helps remind us that we have made so much progress. It reminds us of the value of everything we have done up until this point. And while we still may have a ways to go, we're still much farther ahead than we were in the beginning. It allows us to take some really heart-centered pride in the contributions we've already made. So go ahead and vote on which one you feel would do a better job in the being added to the grid, the green aventurine or the chrysoprase. And while we do that, hi Grace! And while we do that, I'm going to go ahead and just flip the camera back around and explain very briefly what Reiki is to those of you who are new. And then we'll get started with the sending of the Reiki. So as I mentioned, I've been teaching Reiki for about 13 years. My business is Learn Reiki Philadelphia, and you can learn more about my online classes and things like that in the description. But Reiki is essentially earth-based healing energy, the basic building block of life force energy. This energy is already existing within us, around us, in everyone and everything that is on this earth. Everything has access to Reiki and has it flowing through right now. It's one of the many energies that makes us, us. Our body, mind, and spirit are very familiar with this energy on that level. When we bring more of that energy in, our body, mind, and spirit can sort of use it to, in a sense, recalibrate and find the best way to balance, to open up, to release, to support our greater good. And we can set intentions around how we want that energy healing to look, or we can simply see what the universe suggests for us. It's almost like the energetic equivalent of fresh, clean water. We drink the water, we don't have to think about all of the processes that it does in our body on a conscious level. Our body, mind, and spirit know what to do with it. Reiki is the energetic equivalent of that. It's an energy that can't hurt anything. It just supports the greater good. Every session will feel different just based on how you're showing up today and what you need. Sort of like another water analogy. Imagine every shower is a little different. Just depends on what you need to do that day. So go ahead and during this time when I send, what I'll do is I'll turn the music up, I'll turn the lights down. No flashing lights or anything like that. And I'll sit back, Set an intention that this healing energy be connected to all of you while keeping your individual energy fields separate and protected. You can lie down, you can take a nap, you can meditate, you can stretch, you can do yoga, you can do anything you like. This time is for you. At the same time, if you don't know what else to do, I would just suggest to relax, get comfortable, move around as you need. If you want something, if you feel like you need a glass of water, get up and get it. I'll send for about a half an hour, and then you'll hear my voice come back, and I'll invite you to take a deep breath and come back to your body. At the end of the session, I'll open it up to any questions you might have. You can ask them in the chat if you're here live. If you're watching this on the replay, energy can travel over time just as it can over a distance. So you'll absolutely enjoy this healing no matter when you're watching it. For the crystals, I always put the names of the crystals in the description for past healing events. So if you like this particular stream and the music and the vibe of it, cool, you can go ahead and find it in our past replays. You'll also be able to see the spelling of all the crystals. I have a small crystal shop on my website, but if you want to find them local to you, awesome. It'll help that I put the spelling in the description for you. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Let's see what everyone voted on to add. Chrysoprase and aventurine, both for this grid. Yeah, that's pretty much how it always ends up. Thank you all so much. And one of the big properties of community distance Reiki that we don't always talk about is that of communal chi. Communal chi is a concept that we see in Chinese medicine, and I'm just going to go ahead and take us back. Just added the green aventurine here and here. I'm going to get some more chrysoprase. The communal energy or communal chi is super powerful when we think about everybody setting an intention and an intention for healing. When we set an intention for how we want to use our energy and we all come together to work through that as a group, it basically creates an exponentially larger potential energy for all of us to have access to. So even though our individual energies get to stay separate and protected, we are coming together even in a digital sense and building that energy up in a way. And because all of you are here and put in your intentions, this crystal grid is like a physical representation of that communal chi and of that group intention for healing. So thank you for being a part of it. There we go. Yeah. So go ahead and get nice and comfortable. I feel like we're going to have a beautiful healing session. I also want to add this crystal point. This is smoky quartz, and it's a rutilated smoky quartz. Rutilated quartz helps to send the energy directly where it needs to go. It supports balance of mind, body, and spirit. And smoky quartz itself is not only protective, but it helps facilitate the optimal movement of energy. So I'm going to go ahead and put that right here in the middle. Yeah, this is it. This is a beautiful grid for us today. Thank you all so much for being here. Just going to add a little bit more celestite, connection to the angels and support with physical pain. Thank you all again. So I'm going to go ahead and turn down the lights, turn up the music. Use this time to enjoy. If you get distracted or if you feel your mind is racing, just take a deep breath. You don't need to focus on anything, and you don't even need to stay awake. If you feel like your mind might be racing, take that deep breath. You don't have to focus on anything, and you don't have to keep a silent mind. Enjoy this time in a way that feels right to you. I'm going to go ahead and get ready to start sending that energy to all of you. And when I turn up the music, if you find that you like it, you can learn more about the content creator that created that music in the description. So thanks again for being here, and I'll see you all in a little less than a half an hour. and that'll be just a little bit after 5 p.m. East Coast US time. I invite you now to take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Slowly begin returning to your body. Thank you so much for sharing this time with me today. It was an honor and a pleasure. And if at this time you have any questions or anything to share, please go ahead and use the chat. I'm more than happy to answer any questions that you have. You're so welcome. Thank you for being here, Grace. Good to see you. Hope everything went well this week. Yeah, this was definitely a really beautiful grid, exceptionally so. And thank you everyone who made suggestions and requests to help bring it together. And thank you so much for being here, whether live or in the recording, contributing to the communal energy. Oh, I'm so glad to hear that, Grace. I'm so glad to hear that. Yeah, I know that the rhodochrosite was just so, I feel like, amplified by so many of the crystals that were requested. You're so welcome, future someone. Thank you for all the requests. I'm glad that I had them all today. I don't always. I really appreciate that. But yeah, it was thank you all so much. It's always so interesting to see how we, as a group with so many of you that return, how we work through different crystals and different themes of healing at different times, and how complementary our journeys are. It just always blends together so much. You're so welcome, Holly. Thank you for being here. I will be back later today at 8 p.m. and again Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern US time. I know for those of you that are in Europe and in the UK, that's a little late for you, although you're welcome here either way. Uh, but thank you for being here now, and I will be back to you next week, the usual days and usual times. If you would like, for those of you who are new, if you would like a reminder every time I go live, all you have to do is subscribe and hit the notification bell for that. Otherwise, the information about my social media, my community Discord, all of that good stuff, even my email newsletter, all of that stuff's in the description. So you can always use that to keep in touch, whichever works best for you. You're so welcome, Cora. And Fiat Luna, thank you so much. Yeah, it was an intense week. This week was intense. So intense. I felt like it flew by, too. There was one night where I just actually fell asleep on the couch, only to get up and go back to bed. Yeah, it was kind of wild. I hope you have an amazing rest of your Friday as well. And Cora, good luck with the house. Really, I hope everything works out. If it's meant to be, I hope it truly is. And if this one isn't the one, I hope that the right one is just around the corner. All of you are so welcome. So I'm going to go ahead and bring the stream to an end, but I'm going to be in the comments for a little while. If you have any questions, absolutely feel free to ask, or use the information in the description to go ahead and contact me outside of the stream to see if you need any answers to those questions at all. Thank you all so much again for being here. deeply appreciate the support and the encouragement of all of you. You're so welcome. And I even more than anything appreciate all the support you show each other in the chat. That is just beautiful to watch. So thanks again for being here. Again, I'll be back tonight at 8 p.m. and Sunday at 8 p.m. And I hope to see you soon, okay? Take care. Have a beautiful rest of the day. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you soon.